Yeah, it's not closed,
I'm gonna get things started right
so
now.
I'm not too worried about it. And they well, I think as we know, sometimes the little things.
All right, 9:15, let's get started. Now that the room is filled in a little bit. I guess the weather's keeping people from coming a little bit earlier. I know it was hard to get up this morning for everybody, except my kids. They have no problem getting up earlier than the alarm. Thanks so
You
much.
must have babies, not teenagers.
Right. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. I'm looking around, seeing all the familiar faces with a couple of new ones. This gentleman right here introduced himself earlier as Greg, and this is a very different type of networking group, Greg. So while we don't normally stand up and introduce ourselves, you are welcome to let us know who you are and what brought you here. I'm always happy. The reason I want you to share what brought you here is just to maybe put a little pressure on everybody else to remember that they need to be out there sharing 1 Million Cups. So who told you about this and what brought you here today?
Let's see how it started. I'm part of the Fayette County mentoring program through our church, the Low Baptist Church. And Margaret Coleman, who heads up that mentoring for Fayette County, she mentioned that I should look into launch
Launchpad. Yep.
And I did. And I was impressed with what I saw online, and I reached out to Steven, and we had a conversation, and he welcomed me in and said he thought it'd be a good fit, so I signed up. I'm on board. I'm now a Flex member. Excited to sit down with some other entrepreneurs, and share some ideas, bounce some ideas, see if my idea makes sense to you guys, and
That's
makes
great.
sense to you. You may be potential customers, so.
Beautiful.
That's what I'm doing.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I think it goes without saying
What
that
do you
you're in the right place.
Okay.
I'm trying to start up, and I am in the process of starting up a small consultancy in the electric vehicle infrastructure space. And that's providing people, services, matching companies with companies, people with companies, along those lines. That's the goal.
Gotcha.
Background is I recently retired, so it's not a hobby, but I don't have to do it.
It takes a lot of pressure off.
It takes a lot of pressure off, and that's why I mentioned it. But, I was a salesman for many years, my whole career. And as you can see, I like to talk, so I'm not afraid to talk in front of people. And, I sold $12 million in call systems into the power industry. So, I think I can sell what I have. I just have to kind of define what it is I'm trying to sell. So
Flexibility.
that's what I'm trying to do now, is,
Great.
take it to market and launch it. Professionally, see what that
Great.
doesn't
Well,
work, we'll go back.
I got you. Well, I also just want to take this opportunity to mention that Greg has also decided, so not only did he join as a member here, but he has signed up for the Fast Track program, which kicks off today. It is not too late to sign up if you're still interested. We have plenty of room. It is a 15-week program that will help you go through all of the phases that you need to figure out if your business is good enough to be legitimate, to get off the ground. And when you exit the program, you will have a full-fledged business plan ready to go. So I'm really excited about that. I know I've shared that with you all. It is a $500 fee. If you are a member, it's only $50. So I highly encourage you to check that out. All right, so behind me are two QR codes. The one over here, I asked that everybody use to just check in with 1 Million Cups so that they know that you're here. You should all have a profile there by now, and if you do not, it's easy to set one up. They just inevitably want to know what type of person are you? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you an investor? Are you just a member of the community looking to give back? All that data is pulled together, and at the end of the year, they provide us with a really nice deck of information. And it's always fun to share that with you all, how all the chapters across the country kind of measure up. And then the one on the right is a private Facebook group. And I'm gonna put a little bit more emphasis on this today because just a minute ago, I was asked for a reference And I thought, yeah, I know people, but this is the place to ask the rest of you for who you might be looking for, right? And in her case, she was looking for a handyman. Now I know she was thinking of Joel, who's not here right now, but Joel does not, I don't know that Joel does like home residential type stuff. He might, because he doesn't say no to anybody about anything. And if you know him well enough, he's got like 8 jobs now. But I feel like the group is really the place where we should all be leveraging each other in that way, sharing what's going on, asking questions about how you can further your business. Really, it's a great resource. And I do promise I will build, I know people who do things.com, I'm just not quite there yet. So, let's see, what did I cover? I just want to also thank Launch Bay for giving us the space. This really does feel like home, and I want to make sure that they publicly know how much I appreciate this space and all the effort that it took to build it and allow us to be here each week. And then Beignets and Brew, if you haven't been there yet, over at the Avenue, they are the ones who provide the box of coffee and the beignets. They are amazing, and I hope that you indulge. I hope that box is empty by the end of the day. But I really just want to say thank you to them. There is a date. Remember I told you guys that we were going to be meeting there one week, and then it snowed, so we canceled. The reason that we had to go there instead of here, that event is happening again. So we are going to go there, and correct, what's the Wednesday, like 26th, is that it? Is it 26, 27?
The last one of the month.
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact date, but that's the one, just keep it in your mind, 26th. So on the 26th, join us over there at the Avenue at Beignet and Brew, and we'll do all of our normal programming, but it'll just be there. All right, then I guess it's not fair that I ask one new person to introduce themselves and not the other. I'm laughing because you got let in through a door that never opened, and yet this man is like security beyond, like you've never even understood security until you talk to this guy. It's impressive, he's amazing. You want to just do a brief introduction? Like I said, this is not typical networking, but like just brief so that everybody knows who we're sitting in the room with.
Yeah, so I'm Lance Guillory. I'm a retired federal law enforcement officer. Retired in 2020 and stood up a consultancy. And Jason's folks built my website and a marketing plan and all sorts of stuff for me. So yeah.
So obviously we invited him to come and be a part of us, and I think you're on the calendar to present?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
No.
So I know Abby's been working on you to get you on the calendar.
Yeah.
We are like fully booked through mid-March, maybe even the end of March now. It's incredible. It makes me so proud and takes so much stress off. Trying to find someone each week, or to come up with another business to present to you all. I'm tired. Or, the games are fun. The games are always fun, so we never know. Anyway, I'm gonna turn it over. Slap someone silly, slap someone's sauce. Slap someone's sauce. The silly part can come later. I wanna, for those of you that have been with, actually, no one in this room, I think, was actually, maybe Ron was the only person who was with us when we used to meet over at Rome in Trilla. Were you there? Were you there when he presented? Do you remember him? The slap someone sauce? Brian?
Let's hear what he says.
Brian, do you remember slap someone sauce? I mean, you can't forget the name, right? Like as soon as I saw it come up, I was like, oh, he's coming back. I know, you can't forget the name.
Yeah, I must have missed that one.
All right. Well, I mean, I just want to put some just so that you all understand. When we used to meet at Rome, we were in a room that was probably a third of this size. There was maybe 10 people at each session, if I could get that many to come. But we kept pushing through and we just kept meeting, and then when Rome decided they didn't want to support us anymore, we moved to another location, and then we moved to another location. So we've been a few places since he's been a presenter. It's been at least 2 years, I imagine.
Yep.
So and I love seeing names come back up, because that means they have things that they want to share about where they are now, right? So I do not remember the presentation. I definitely remember the name and the sauce. I can almost taste the sauce. Yeah, now I know. Now I don't have to try to imagine anymore. Why don't you come up and tell us about your business, and I will work on getting your website up.
Okay. Good morning, God. Good morning to everyone. I'll say God bless because I'm a preacher, right? Okay. My name is Kipling Taylor. I am the president and CEO for Slap Someone Sauce LLC. Was it great?
Yes, great.
Great. Lance. Lance.
Yes, sir.
Retired federal law enforcement, huh?
Yes, sir.
So am I.
Okay. Push the talk.
Awesome.
San Diego.
Okay.
All right, Slops on One Sauce, what is it? We are a sauce and condiment company, premier, up and coming. Started 2019 as a business. Actually, we were born 2018, became official February 24th, 2019, and we've been going headlong ever since. Most recently, and then early as recent as yesterday, was approved with a deal with McLean to do my production. McLean, everybody know McLean, who McLean is? See the trucks that said McLean on the side of them? Okay, well, they deliver to restaurants and so forth and so on, so we did a deal with McLean. A week ago, we were at US Foods, got a deal with US Foods. I have a deal with Global Distribution in Turlock, California. All right? Okay, so when I came here before, we were kind of floundering. Didn't know what I was doing, you know what I mean? I was deep in I don't know, and trying to find out. But along the way, I learned quite a few things. And so now, again, we have several deals that we're working on right now. And I don't know what's gonna happen with our deals in Canada because of the tariffs. We have 3 deals in Canada. We have a deal with United Airlines that is coming up as soon as we can get our sachet machine, which sachets are ketchup packets. That's what they're called, right? That's a sachet. As soon as we get the sachet machine, United Airlines is coming on board. Okay?
Wow.
So we are really moving. This year is going to be a great year. Again, we were born on November 2018, became a company 2019, February 24th. The pandemic kind of put a dip in our business, but I want to encourage everyone, don't give up. All right? As long as you keep yourself pointed in the right direction, and that's towards success, you will be successful. Okay? So we produce 11 flavors of barbecue sauce, 5 flavors of dry rub. We are trademarked in the category of all sauces, gravies, and condiments, meaning that at some point we're going to expand beyond barbecue sauce. Okay? And so make sure when you're getting into business, some things that you want to make sure you take care of. First of all, if you have a logo, you want to trademark it. Okay? Because you don't want anybody stealing your information. And I would suggest that you do your research and your homework. One of the mistakes I made early on was I went to Legal, what's it called? Not Legal Zoom. LegalZoom. I paid $2,400, almost $2,500 to get my logo and everything trademarked, right? And I come to find out it's only $250.
Oh, okay.
So they sold me the goods, and I bought it because I didn't know what to do.
Convenience.
There you go. As a matter of fact, you know, so you say that there's 2 words that even I teach in the church is convenience and compromise. Those are 2 words that get you in trouble along the way. Convenience and compromise, right? Convenience because you want to take the easy way out. You don't want to hit the bumps in the road. And compromise, well, I'll hang out. You know, you may not be the right person, but I'll hang out with you anyway. And then you'll find out that person's gotten close to you only to steal what you were trying to do. So you want to protect yourself along the way. Get all these protections in place. When you submit to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, you're going to submit your logo in a black and white copy. All right? Make sure it's a clean copy, no cutoffs, everything has to be there. The reason why they submit it in black and white, because now, if along the way you have a promotion, you want to add color to your logo, you can. But if you submit a color copy, and that's what's trademarked, you can't change colors.
Oh, wow.
Okay? You're stuck with that. All right? Again, so we have 11 flavors of barbecue sauce. Each flavor, if you look on the back of the business cards that I gave you, you'll see that each flavor has its own name. Well, why do we do that? Well, we want you to remember Slaps on One sauce. Yeah, it's a whimsical name, Slaps on One sauce, but we want you to remember the flavor that you had. So we have, and I gave you samples, you have what's called the Real Deal. That's our original flavor, right? And it packs a punch like Holyfield, but I can't say that, right? Okay. We have Smacked on the Range, which is our hickory. Slept in the Woods, our mesquite. We have Honey, what's called Good Lovin', because she's sweet on you, right? Her sister is Strange Love, that's our Honey Mustard. She's sometimes sweet, she's sometimes, well, she doesn't know what she wants to be, right? Then we have our spicier blends, which is our Hit Me, that's our mild flavor. Hit Me Again is our medium. Multiple Slaps, that's our hot. Raging Mellow, that's our habanero, right? And then we have Pineapple Mango Habanero, which is our latest flavor, and it's called Fruit Punch. Then we have a white barbecue sauce, it's called Bama White Tie. You know why? Bama White Tie. You know why?
No.
Because white barbecue sauce came in Alabama. Big Bob Gibson, 1929, in Decatur, Alabama, put together white barbecue sauce. They use it even to the day, and they use it on their roast chicken. You can also put it on sandwiches as well, okay? All right, then we have our dry rubs. Our dry rubs is called slapping dust. It's not angel dust, it's slapping dust, just rub it in. All right, so we have our original flavor, our all-purpose. We have salt, pepper, garlic. We have cayenne, habanero, and we have coffee. All right, and that's what we offer right now. We offer 3 sizes. We have a 16 ounce, 12 ounce, and our new personal use size called a 4 ounce. Most recently, let's see, what else did we get done today? We did get done recently. We have, let's see, let me think. I got so many things going on right now. I went to 2 buyers conferences, one in July last year in Las Vegas through the company ECRM. There's my bag here. So if anyone has anything that you're trying to put on the market, this company, ECRM, right, will help you, no matter what your product is. ECRM, or they're called, their other company is called Range Me. So rangeme.com or ECRM, and they'll help you get your product to market. What they'll do is you'll pay a fee, and it's expensive. It's going to be about $5,000, and you're going to be meeting with anywhere from 10 to 12 buyers for your product. It's a speed date type concept where you sit down in front of them, or they sit down in front of you, and you have 10 minutes to convince them why your product needs to be on their shelves, right? And so when you do that, make sure, again, if you're going to try and go this route, make sure that, or if you need to, you can contact me. I'll put you in contact with the gentleman that's the guy that you want to talk to, okay? And so, again, that's what we have. Any questions for me?
When did you start?
Wow, all the hands.
Go ahead.
What grade did you start? Were you part of this program? Or?
I started, let me see, 2 years ago? I think it might have been 3 years ago, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, might have been 3 years ago.
So you went through this whole process?
Oh, yeah, the whole process, yeah. Mhm. Yes, sir.
My understanding is the food business is one of the hardest businesses to break into because of so much competition of other people bringing products into the market.
Well, what's your name, sir?
Is that your experience?
What's your name?
Ray.
Ray. Okay, Ray, let me say this to you. Anything you get involved in is going to be hard because you got competition out there.
Sure.
The determination comes from you, right? The energy comes from you. Yes, I'm in the barbecue sauce arena right now. There's a host of barbecue sauces, but guess what? We're the best barbecue sauce on the market. That's what I said, right? That's what I believe. That's the energy I put forth. So when I come up against competition, right, it's no different. I'm the best football team, right? Denver Broncos. I'm sorry.
Philadelphia.
Anyways, you see what I'm saying? It's your energy, right? You're gonna always have hills to climb and mountains to overtake, right? And if you allow them to dictate to you your position, well, guess what's gonna happen? That's where you'll be, okay? So, food business, it can be hard to get into, but you and your energy will move mountains. Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
Lisa.
Lisa.
So what makes you different than the other barbecue sauce besides your energy?
Well, okay, we have, one of our ingredients, we have turmeric, so it's anti-inflammatory,
Nice.
right? It is a 100-year-old recipe handed down from my great grandmother.
Nice.
Okay, so it's a family recipe.
Love that.
No, you can't have it, no, I won't publish it. And if I did, I had to kill you, right?
Or marry you, right?
Well, okay. All right, anyone else? Yes, sir.
Steve,
Steve?
have you been involved with the Taste of Georgia? Are you aware of it, of that program? through the-
I heard of it, but no, sir, I have not.
Okay, one of the things of the Taste of Georgia program, they have, you can sign up to the Department of Agriculture, and they have a big event every year in downtown Atlanta. And it's a competition, and they have winners that out of it, and do various barbecue sauces, and sauces is one of them. But one of the things that happens through that is if you get recognized through the Taste of Georgia program, it really fast tracks you being able to get into Kroger, Publix, companies like that. I've worked with companies in the past when I worked for the state of Georgia, where we would get them into the Taste of Georgia program, and they did well there, won, and next thing you know, they're on the shelf at Publix
Okay.
without having to spend $5,000. So, but I encourage anybody in the food business to always look at the Department of Ag and the Taste of Georgia program. That can really fast track you in getting in front of some of the major chains.
Okay. I'm sorry, so did I answer your question?
Good enough.
Good enough? But did you see how I didn't accept what you were saying?
I clearly understood what
Right.
you were saying back to me. I was just trying to understand the difficulty that you faced and obviously the progress you've made.
Well, I'm a praying man, okay? So some of the difficulties that people that may face that don't pray, I really can't speak to that, because when I pray and I believe in God and the things that I ask of Him, He opens doors for me. Okay, so I've gotten favor from Him in that arena.
Good. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Oh, okay, all right. Yes, sir. And
Why? Yeah.
what's your name?
My name is Yanni.
Yagi. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead, sir.
It's interesting to me, like, why did you choose to protect your logo? Isn't it unique enough for anybody to make it your own? Like,
It is very unique. However,
Mhm.
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm listening.
With anything that you produce, somebody's always going to try and come behind you and steal what you have. Even in this business, when you do licensing, so let's say that I go to a third-party packer, right? And I would give them the license to print my logo on, let's say I got the bags of seasoning from them, right? Well, I'm gonna license them to put my logo on their bag. But agreements, locks, alarms, all that stuff is for honest people. You're gonna always have somebody that's dishonest, and they're gonna take what you put all your effort into, and they're gonna try and take it and make an easy dollar off of it. And when you find out about it, when you send a cease and desist letter, well, and you try and get back or recoup any money that they've, made, then they're gonna file bankruptcy, and your product or your recipe or whatever it is you're trying to protect has now been published across the internet, the dark net, and all these other different nets, and now you're unprotected. So yes, you always want to put your protections in place,
I
regardless.
see. And another one, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So you seem to me, first of all, it's very enlightening, the way you present the product and how you see yourself as the best one out there, which is great, for everybody to look at themselves
Right.
as such,
Right.
I'm sure you have challenges, so I wonder what is your target audience that you're aiming for, and what is your biggest challenge? Because Jason kind of skipped today the main question here that we always ask everybody, so please go ahead and ask it.
Yeah, in all fairness, 1 Million Cups wants me to ask you, what can we as a community do for you?
So,
Sorry.
yeah, so that's kind of transitions into my question. How can we help you get to your target audience?
You can tell everybody you know.
Mhm.
You have a sample. You will experience the flavor, so you'll be able to testify about how good it is. And so when you hear me say I'm the best salsa in the market, then you'll be able to testify and agree with that, right?
If I may, your application also expressed that your biggest barrier for growth is finances. So
Yes.
I'll remind everybody that 1 Million Cups is adamant about these being presentations and not pitches. However, personally, I feel like when we ask the presenter what it is that we as a community can do, if his answer happens to be, I'm trying to raise capital, that can open a conversation that may lead to some resources. So I'm not putting words in his mouth. So much, I suppose I am, I don't know. You take
Well,
it from
I
there.
would say, recently I've had some investors, so the capital issue is being remedied.
Well, there you go. Wow, that's great.
I do have a couple of positions available. If anybody were to want to invest, but we're not talking about that right now, so you have my business card. So we'll do that. If you can call me if you want to look at investing, you can do that down the road. But I'm not here to pitch you and ask you for any investments. I'm here to tell you how to take your business from 0 to 100. Yes, sir. And your name is?
My name is Aaron.
Aaron, yes,
I have
sir.
3 questions. What about your product? What about your business? And what about you?
Okay.
What about you? What's that watch you're wearing?
Invicta.
That's a nice watch.
No, can't have it.
Just curious. I'm watching.
So I was on the SWAT team. I was building entry, right? So I was the first guy through the door.
Sure.
Double tap center mass, double tap to the head, I'll take you out, okay?
Not if I get you first. Question about your product. Do you do any barbecue salts? Do you do any of your flavors in a dry salt seasoning, or is it all?
Well, our dry rubs, we do have our dry rubs, and the original flavor, it has almost all of the same ingredients as the sauce.
Okay, very good. And then if you could give us a sense of size of the company you've built thus far. Where general sales, stores are in, employees, and give us a sense of where you're at.
Well, we are in the process of developing, again, we've been around for 5 years. I did have some difficulties in terms of building, in terms of cash flow, in terms of getting investments, so it's been kind of slow. Well, right now we have 4 employees. We use Prep Atlanta as our commercial kitchens. Certifications all came out of there. To date, we've probably done, $75,000, as a small company. But with the deal in California, he wants a minimum of 100 cases or 1,200 bottles a month. That's $6,000 a month. Do the math, $72,000 a year on it. That's just one deal. Now we got US Foods, we have McLean, we have a company called Discount Drug Mart out of Ohio, which is coming on board. Again, I mentioned United Airlines. That's huge, right? We've been featured in, or we're getting ready to be featured in Food, what's it called? Food and Garden magazine, something like that, out of Las Vegas. Yeah, so we're on our way.
Cool, thank you.
Okay. Anyone? Yes, sir.
Could you explain the logo, trademark, the black and white thing again?
Okay, yes, sir. What they suggest is that when you submit your logo, black and white, and what that does is, if you ever have a promotion where you want to add colors to your logo or floral, whatever you want to do, you can do that because your original copy is in black and white, okay? But if you submit a color copy and that's what you trademark, that's what you're going to be stuck with for the rest of your days.
Makes sense.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Right here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And your name is, sir?
My name is Darren.
Darren, okay.
Yes. I just want to congratulate you on your deal with McLean, because I know from experience, I worked in retail for over 20 years. And, other avenues you can look up is like, have you ever heard of H.L. Hackney?
No, sir.
Okay, H.L. Hackney, they have a hub over in Forest Park. Okay, and it's the same thing that McLean does. I work in retail, so that's how I know those two names. And just congratulations on that. And the question I have is, let's just say that, what advice can you give to an entrepreneur that's looking to go down that same track and get into like a distribution, a deal like that, like a McLean or a Hackney or anything such as that? Which way would you?
Okay, so you're gonna have to, you have to take baby steps, okay? Like I said, first and foremost, you wanna get all your certifications. When you start talking about doing distribution deals, one of the things they're gonna ask you is, do you have your barcodes, your SKUs, right? So you wanna have those in place, so that, because they're gonna take your SKUs or barcodes and put it into their system for reorder, all right? How do you do that? Well, there's a company called GS1 where you get all your barcodes from and your QR codes, called GS1. And they sell their barcodes in lots of 100. So it's 1 to 100, then 100 to 200, something like that, or 200 to 500. And it's $750 per 100 barcodes. Other thing you want to do is, again, you want to have all your legal documentation in place. And if you're going to be in the food industry, you want to make sure you get your certifications, your Safe Serve certification, your certifications with Department of Agriculture. Now, I got mine through Prep Alignment, through their commercial kitchen. So you have a shared kitchen, and they'll get you certified and signed off with that. If you have your own building, you probably want to get a professional to come in and make sure that your place where you're going to be producing food is up to par. Okay? Because once you get on the list, and if you fail, it's going to be kind of hard to come off the list. All right? So again, your due diligence is what's important. Before you tell anybody about what you're doing, you want to have your checks and balances in place. You want to make sure you do a list, and you want to check off each thing you need to do before you go live. Okay? Because you don't want anybody backdooring, you don't want anybody coming back and shutting you down because you missed something. One of the other things you might do is partner with someone else that's in business and ask questions. Ask all the questions. I mean, even if they get tired of you asking questions, ask more. There's never a dumb question, there's never too many questions. Because this is your vehicle, this is your baby, and you want to make sure you have everything in place. Okay? Any other questions?
After I'm gonna connect you with somebody. I was fortunate enough to design a line of products for a hummus company. You know, and they became big. So they're selling in Walmart, Kroger, and now they got a big deal, it's not at Costco, it's the South American Costco. It's called PriceSmart. So I think you can follow these channels. They're sponsored by the Pepsi Corporation right now. So this is big for you. It could be big for you. If you can connect to the same channels and try to go that route.
Good. Well, let's talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I am with Walmart Marketplace. We're going to upload our catalog to Walmart Marketplace as well.
Oh,
so we have
great.
a lot of deals. We have a lot of deals working.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. Your name?
My name is Andrew.
Andrew. Yes, sir.
I just want just an observation I made. I'm in the food business as well.
Okay.
And this gentleman over here asked you earlier about if you could speak to some challenges you've had, or a lot of people reference the food business being difficult to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And when he asked you that, you immediately went to your faith and that you're a man of God and you pray and you've experienced favor and so on and so forth. I'm a devout Christian as well, so I understand my business is a kingdom business. I understand all that.
Mm-hmm.
But then 5 minutes later, you were like, well, funding has been an issue for the business, but that's what he was asking.
He said that. I didn't bring it up. And
No, but you said it later. He brought it up, but you didn't say it later. You agreed with him.
Right.
And so what I'm saying is that's what he was asking you to speak about, the challenges you've had when people say the food business is difficult to get into. So
Okay, let me say this.
So I just want to say those two things. 1 minute it was faith, and then the next minute it was, well, funding has been an issue. And so I would just say.
Had been an issue, but it's not an issue any longer.
I understand that, but his question was, can you give some insight to challenges
Yeah,
that
for,
you've had?
for what it's worth, I think that as entrepreneurs who are in that startup phase, what we would like to commiserate with you on is what it was like to struggle from going from needing money to then having money. Because I can speak personally, I've got some side projects that I could really use some money on.
Okay, so I've had several people reach out to me, we call it capital investors. Also businesses that want to give me loans. And one of the things is that I didn't do early on, I had some financial challenges personally, so I couldn't even do a business bank account. Okay, so I was using a personal checking account as my business checking account. But then when I started trying to submit to get loans, what they wanted to see my business bank account with my logo and everything, or my name on the business bank account. So, bar that, and I don't think everybody's had the same situation and the problems that I had in terms of my personal finances, right? But you would have to have a business bank account, right? They're gonna need to see at least 3 months of money, cash flowing through your business bank account. So when you submit your statements, you want to see at least 3 months of statements with the money flowing through your account. You want to make sure you have an ample amount of money in your account, right? I can tell you that my father, before he passed, it's been on a year now, but he had an invention, was an engine that didn't need any type of fuel to run. But in his quest to go to the market, he ran into disruptive terminology placed on his invention. And so he had some uphill battles, and unfortunately he didn't make it to the top, and he transitioned. So, and again, I hear what you're saying about being a devout Christian, but as far as the finances, that was my challenge, right? That was the only challenge that I had in terms of being, not being able to climb the mountain, but I didn't focus on those challenges. So when I stand before you, I can't speak to that in terms of that was the thing that held me back, that was the thing, because again, I do rely on my faith, okay? Now, I'm sorry if I offend anybody by talking about faith in here, but that's where I walk, that's the lane I walk in. And there's the doors that God has opened up for me that I never expected at all. And again, when I signed up with Range Me, my niece is the one that connected me with Range Me. And Range Me contacted, or an ECRM contacted me. And I just happened to run into another Christian, the guy that I'm working with now at ECRM. So again, what I'm saying to you is that while you may face certain challenges, if I could suggest anything, if you know the words of prayer, that's got to be where you got to go. I know we live in a world where it's not what you know, but who you know. But that's sometimes gets you in trouble, because if you go the route of who you know, guess what? You're going to be able to take 25% of your business or more, and you're not, right? So I'm only giving up 20% of my business in terms of investment capital, because I want to make sure that I have control. You're going to have to be shrewd in business. Everybody's not your friend, okay?
Yeah, my name's Steve. I've got a question about your origin story. I loved when you were talking about a 100-year-old recipe coming from your family. I noticed on your website you got how it all began, which is great. I love that. So what led you to say that 100-year-old recipe is something I want to create a business around?
You know something, Steve? When I was in the military, I would have cookouts and I would make my barbecue sauce and everything. People would say, man, you really sell this. I'm like, huh? I didn't understand the concept, okay? And for years, I would make my barbecue sauce and people would ask for, samples and whatnot, and I still did, it just wasn't clicking, right? So again, here we go. One day, after Bible study, I had taught on gifts, talents, and abilities, right? I'm sitting at my desk after Bible study, and the Lord said, make and sell your sauce. And we had a conversation. So what do I call it, Lord? He said, slap someone's sauce. I said, okay. So then I got on the internet, I went to some clip art, and I found a clip art that was a giant hand that had little bitty hands inside of it, right? I said, slap someone, there you go. And then I ran up and I told my wife, I said, hey, look what God told me. And then she was like, what? And that was in November of 2018. And I was so excited. I then called, what's the company again? LegalZoom. Yeah, LegalZoom, and I got thrashed. I ran into an attorney. There was a patent attorney. She tried to double bill me for submitting my paperwork to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, right? So, again, early on, I had some pain, I was inflicted with some pain, some stripes, right? But I just kept my head forward, pressing towards my goal. And so, again, the 100-euro recipe, I had no idea that it would ever be a business. I hadn't even looked at it as a business until the day God said do it, because many people who had experienced the sauce before had suggested that I sell it, but it just never clicked until that day.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, and so on. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You brought up that you're using a prep kitchen up in Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things I hear locally is from a number of people is that we have a dearth of that on the south side. I mean, we have UGA Griffin. Talk a little bit how difficult it was to find, or was it difficult?
Oh my gosh, very difficult. Because it's like people don't care that you're trying to break into business. They see you as a cash cow. In fact, before we got with Prep Atlanta, we went to Cloud, and Cloud Kitchens wanted to charge me $5,000 a month for a closet. And in that closet, I would have to bring my own stove, my own mixer. The only thing they were offering was 3 sinks and a refrigerator or cold storage, and the hood. That was it. And it was dank, and it was dark, and it was dirty, right? And so she wanted $9,000 for me to come in, $9,000 to start, and then $5,000 a month. I'm going, it just ain't working. All right. So again, I prayed, and then got on the internet, and I found Prep Atlanta. And so, and if anybody's in the food business and you're looking for a spot, I'm gonna tell you, they wowed us. And they have everything you need there. And they're very professional. Your usage of their kitchen also comes with a conference room, so if you want to bring in buyers, potential buyers or clients, so you can come in and have a professional place where they can meet. You can do your tasting there. They have, you can get your mail there, so you can use that as your business address, right? And that's key, because you're really not using your home on anything that you do, right? Okay, because again, you're going to set yourself up to get put into cleats. And then my man here, Lance, will have to come put handcuffs on you, and because you'll be, in violation of federal law, right? All right, anyone else? Yes, ma'am. And your name?
Tari.
Tari, okay.
2 questions. So along the way, did you find any mentors, and how did you find your mentor, if so? And then also along Prep Atlanta, just curious about your pricing, what you're getting there.
Prep Atlanta is $400 a month for 20 hours, and you determine the 20 hours. It's 24-hour operation. They'll give you a fob that allows you tight security. You're talking about security, they are tight. I mean, they have gates that are about 9 feet high, so nobody can climb over the gates, and you can't get in unless you have that fob, right? And they have their controls as such, certainly when you're driving through the gate, their controls are such that you can only drive through without it, no one can sneak behind you. Yeah, they got cameras everywhere. So it's $400 for 20 hours, and you can increase your hours, and as you increase your hours, then of course, what it costs will go up. I think it's like 30 hours is something, 30 or 40 hours is $750 an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're very reasonable.
Okay.
And it's not the calorie month. Your month starts when your month starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then mentors.
Well, really, I didn't do anybody mentoring me in the sauce business. I had business mentors. Well, one of them was Dr. Natasha Kane. She was actually my marketing professor in undergrad. And she helped me with a lot of that. And then along the way, I just had contacts, and people were telling me how to, because they were interested in my vision and my mission statement. And so it spoke into my life. Yes, ma'am. Anyone else?
Oh, I do.
Yes.
Hi.
Your name is?
My name's Thais.
Thais?
Thais Mills.
Thais?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Nice to meet you. I am late, I'm so sorry, so this could have been asked before. My question is, as a small business owner, we're always so excited to scale up and go to bigger brands and corporations. There's been some shifting with DEI and things that could guarantee placement. What's your mindset now on being in larger conglomerate corporations?
Well, let's say this.
And you could already be in. I'm so sorry because I just slapped my first person. After I had your sauce. So I'm saying you could be in businesses now. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm just,
You know, again, because we are a proprietary, we have a proprietary recipe.
Yes.
I'm not going to sign any contracts with any larger companies. Again, I have to protect my brand, right? And I would suggest, if you can, it may take a little longer, but don't be in a rush to grow, right?
Yes.
You want to grow at a pace. If you get too big too fast, you might implode. Okay? And as far as all the stuff that's in the news now, the DEI, first of all, let me just say this. DEI does not mean African Americans. It's not affirmative action. Okay? DEI is for veterans. DEI is for people with handicap. DEI is a broad spectrum. And I think what has happened because of what's going on in the media, and everyone's getting on, oh, you're a DEI hire, that's listen, I don't want to preach, right? But everything in this world is designed to pull you out of alignment. It is designed to divide and conquer. It is designed to keep you and I looking at one another while everybody else, or while those that are pushing the narrative are doing what they want to do. I have no qualm with anybody in this room. Listen, I was in the military for 16 years. If I had to die for my partner, I'm gonna die. I was a police officer for 12 years. Listen, one of the things I did when I left my locker, before I left the locker room, I would touch the top of my locker. I'm coming home tonight. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. I care that you breathe air. I care that you have warm blood in your veins. You understand? I don't have any reasons to have hatred in my bones. I don't have time to deal with that foolishness. So I treat everybody the way I want to be treated. And if we all did that, we could get along. Right? Don't be afraid of one another. Listen, I want you to ask yourself this question. If the way we conduct business here on Earth, if we were to go to another planet, what do you think we would do? Spoil it. If there were other people out there, I don't know who they are, on another planet, and if we took the ways that we act here on this planet to another planet, it would be spoiled. Right? Thank you. We're the number one in the world. We're the greatest in the world. So as far as those topics and all of that, listen, just let people be, okay? And don't get caught up in the narratives. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Your name is?
I'm Jeff.
Jeff, okay.
And I've recently started a cottage industry bakery.
Cottage?
So it's called Cottage Industry.
Okay.
So it's the entry level into the food business.
Okay.
Where I'm operating at the moment from my home. So, part of our regulations is we have to submit to the Department of Agriculture our complete ingredient list and labels. So if you were to come to me today and say, I would like a strawberry pistachio cake, I don't have that label. So I would have to generate that label, send it up to Department of Agriculture, and who knows how long it takes to get back, because I am fully licensed and insured. But if I were to just make that cake for you today, and somehow those pistachios were not the best, and you get a little bit sick, you come back, well, my insurance company would say, oh, and let me see the label that you gave to your customer, so I don't want to get into that hot water. Because I said, oh, well, we're not covering you because you didn't mention the pistachios or something like that. Well, what I'm driving at here is for your proprietary ingredients. I know because you're working now under the FDA, interstate trend, is that how do you get away or how do you make it so that your secret ingredients are not on the high level of those
when I went
people going in here?
It was the other gentleman that asked me about UGA Griffin. UGA Griffin is your pick. They're the ones that do your food science, right? So I had to expose the recipe to them, but they signed an MNDA with me to protect my recipe that they would not use it. But anybody else, now, because they do your nutrition facts labels for the back of your bottles, right? They're going to not tell all the ingredients. It's going to give you a percentage of what is and what isn't. Okay. So for me, that's what I did. I had to go through UGA Griffin.
So is that the little catchword that you often see on a product where it says, and natural flavors?
Exactly.
And natural flavors.
And natural
ingredients.
Yeah.
But you still had to give it to
I had to
somebody
give-
for them to
You're going to
see.
have to give your recipes to someone, but you, again, make sure you have all your protections in place. And an NDA or MNDA is a way of protecting yourself. Okay? Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your name is?
Ray.
Ray? Ray.
Right. I want to compliment you not only on your basis for input that you have for your idea, but also on the perspective and possibilities and the structure, the strategy that you've developed. Because you're in a really difficult, not only in industry and in terms of consumer products, but the range of packaging that you've already talked about, distribution channels, the wide variety of application of the product. So how did you develop strategy to start with first step and then move into where you are now, or how, reflecting on it, has that occurred?
Okay, so along the way, we made a lot of mistakes, certainly with our packaging. In fact, this is actually a roll of stickers I got from, what's the company? Vistaprint, right? And they ran me up the flagpole for 250 of these was like $300 and almost $400, right? Where a local printer would have charged me $150, right? Also, I didn't understand about bottles and where to get the bottles from. So I did my search for bottles, and I found a company in Boston, and originally we were using glass bottles, right? But every time we shipped through the post office, and I put on there perishable or fragile, they played basketball. And every time the orders would get to the people, they were broken. So I said, okay, so that means I can't put fragile on there or perishable. And I just, and then I need to change my bottles. And then those bottles, the glass bottles, were more expensive, right? So I found plastic bottles, no BHT in. I ordered those. I found those actually on Amazon, right? Under the caps. However, their parent company, so what's happening is someone on Amazon is buying those bottles from Alibaba and bringing them up and selling them
at a higher price. So most recently, I acquired and got a quote from Alibaba to get 10,000 of each size bottles that we have. The cost is going to be about $4,700, bar shipping, right? So, again, I lean heavily on my faith. There is a verse of scripture, Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision, make it plain, right? So you gotta have a plan of action. You gotta have a business plan. I would suggest also Fiverr.com. If you're needing help with your business plan, getting business plan written, Fiverr.com. You can go on there, look at the people that do business plans, look at their ratings, right? Until you find the person that you want. For a little over $150 investment, they'll write your business plan. They're gonna ask you questions, you're gonna fill out a questionnaire, and with that questionnaire, they're gonna write your business plan. So, again, you just can't launch out into business. And I remember I said early on, what's your checklist? You're gonna have a checklist of things you're gonna have to get done before you actually go live. And these are the things you're gonna need, okay? And so these are things that you're gonna need, and you're gonna protect yourself. All right?
Good, thanks.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I want to
Your
say
name?
Keisha.
Keisha?
Yes, yes.
I was married to Keisha once. I'm sorry.
Oh, once, oh, wow.
Just
Okay.
once, right now.
I enjoyed your presentation, and I want to say, just piggybacking on your persistence, not just your faith, because I'm a woman of faith also, but what I hear you saying is that you've been persistent, you've been consistent, and you're a great listener. So whenever someone brings you resources, you're listening about how they can add value to the company, and also following through. So I think you've gone, and I probably was there at Rome back in the day, I just don't remember your particular product, I've been around for a little while. But that's what I hear, your persistence from where you started and now you're growing. Piggybacking on Thais' comment about DEI, I do have some concerns when you go from the size that you are now and you're scaling to the next level. And this is specific for small business owners. Be very curious about your be very careful about your margins. Because of course, you're gonna bring the cost to produce down, but then what is going back into your business to reinvest and grow, okay? So be very mindful of that as you grow. My biggest passion when I'm helping a business owner, small business owners, is how can I get your name out there so that we as a community know your name and that we can support your products? Because if you're only selling online, okay, I haven't, other than maybe meeting you 3 years ago, I haven't seen this branded anywhere. How do I get your name out there so that we can support you? Because I'm thinking, I don't want to say the T word, but I'm thinking with the DEI thing, that's a big issue right now. I'm big on supporting those brands. I mean, huge on supporting those brands. So if I can't go to the T word and buy it right now, okay, then I need to be going direct, okay? The only reason I know those brands are because they're in T, okay? So how do I get you to the point where I know you and all my friends know you and we just blow you up?
Well, one of the best advertisements that anyone can have is word of mouth. Right? You can pay hundreds of dollars for marketing and go nowhere. But if you have experienced the product, then you become the best marketer for that product. And so now that you've experienced, I don't know if you've tasted it yet.
I will.
Okay, but when you do, you'll have evidence that when you now say this company, you'll be able to say, I tasted that product and I understand it's very good.
But you realize like scaling this, okay? Scaling this beyond this room. So I don't, I mean,
Well,
I'm just
again,
thinking,
the
we might have a
scale,
sidebar.
the scale, like I said, again, and again, when I went to the buyers conference in Las Vegas and I made contact with several buyers, one of the buyers was a lady from Korea, and she has the largest e-commerce market in Korea. This is what she told me. She says, when you get a deal in a retail store, she said, let me know. I will track your progress, and when you hit a benchmark, I'm going to bring you to Korea. All right? She tasted, when I had my position set up, I had some chicken, some blonde chicken, no braiding, and I had air fryer there to warm the chicken up, and I had all my flavors out of display as well as the dry rubs. And so every buyer, they had an opportunity to taste our product. Okay, because I wanted them to say, now I heard or I talked to this guy, yeah, but I wanted them to experience the product for themselves. Out of doing it that way, Giant Tiger out of Canada, which is like an Aldi's, she said, I want 4 of your flavors in your 4-ounce bottles. They have 260 stores. Okay? So I may have gone the wrong way in terms of scaling. I didn't go and I didn't do it the way that normally you would do it, but because I was exposed to these people and I was honest and genuine, and like I told, I think it was Steve, and I told him about the energy, or was that you? That was you, right? About your energy. It worked. That's all I can tell you, it worked.
Well, I might just say that worked for you to get that deal with that grocer.
Yes.
But it has to move off the shelves in order for them to come back and order more from you. And I think, to Keisha's point, if you give the customer more things to help you go viral with, that's the kind of growth that she's trying to lead you to.
Okay.
So I also just want to take this time, first of all, I want to recognize that it's 10:15, but I also just want to say from a marketing background myself, so Steve is a storyteller, and he was alluding to, I want to know more about your grandmother's recipe. There's a story to be told about your product.
It's on the website, but
it's not evident from this screen, and I haven't scrolled, which means most people may not get it. I'm not here to be that critical. I'm just telling you that I think that you're missing an opportunity to tell a better story. And no one has seen the bottles except for this little picture, and all I can really tell on there is that your logo is the only thing on the front. There's a story about the logo, obviously, that's not clear. Another piece of advice that we gave somebody else when they presented, and again, we don't see your bottle, so I don't know if this is true or not, but when I walk out of the store with the bottle, I want to be able to know more about you, the story beyond the bottle.
Okay.
So is there a QR code? Is there a URL? Right?
Yes.
These are just questions.
I did say that. I said that you can't get in the store, you can't get on the shelf without the UPC codes.
Right.
And barcodes. That's one of the things
But
you have to have.
those don't lead back to your website. That's just how they check out at the register.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about
the QR code.
this baby right here, right? Something that leads people. So you and Steve should talk, because Steve worked on a campaign for Thrive Coffee, and every package of coffee had a story about the person who grew the coffee. And Chick-fil-A, and I wasn't supposed to say that. Some chicken company picked it up and is now running this is years ago, but was running and still running a campaign through them about know who grows.
Know who grows.
I mean, amazing, right? But it all comes back down to storytelling and giving, to Keisha's point, giving that in a bite-sized, no pun intended, so that other people can share it easily. And that's when it flies off the shelves, and that's when the grocers are gonna call you to reload, re-up. The woman in Korea will be signing up for triple or, I mean, I'm just saying, like.
Sure.
So, anyway, take it with a grain of salt.
I got it.
Let's talk more.
Open.
Whatever you'd like. I think we should probably wrap up in the interest of time, but I just want to thank everybody again for coming out despite the gross weather out there. Stay dry, stay warm, stay healthy. This is the worst flu season in history, I think, and no one really seems to know why. Just that the strain is more susceptible or something. So they say, make sure to wash your hands. What did they say? Make sure to wash your hands. Don't touch your eyes, your nose, or your your mouth, your nose, or your eyes, and don't lick any doorknobs. That was legitimately a piece of advice. Yeah. Anyway, please don't lick any doorknobs. See you guys next Wednesday.